On this week's episode of Blow the Whistle, we're back.
Season 2.
Season 2 of Blow the Whistle is here.
You know what time it is?
Blow the Whistle time?
It's Blow the Whistle time, man.
I like it. I like how that sounds.
Will over here has been at pace for a semester, living it up.
Living in New York City, it's been great. Julien, my man over here, has been in Greece.
Yeah, and I'm going to be at Northeastern University in Beantown in the fall. In the spring, excuse me, and I'm going back in about a week, but I'm excited. Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed the New York sports fan would be in Boston, the Boston would be in New York?
Yeah, we really fucked each other over.
Seriously, you want to switch schools? All right. So on this week, we're discussing the Christmas Day games, George Karl's recent comments, Nerlons Noel and the situation that's going around there, most disappointing teams in the NBA, and then we pass out some early mid-season awards. Want to just jump right into it?
Let's go.
All right, Christmas Day games. Start off with the first game of the night, Celtics-Knicks.
You know what? As a Knicks fan, I've learned to take... An important skill in life is to take the bright side.
All right.
And I didn't learn anything new from this. Here's the thing. I didn't learn any bad news that was new.
Okay.
If that makes any sense after that game. Because I know the Knicks can't play defense. And it seemed
whole NBA
every
knows
other
that.
time I looked at the TV, Isaiah Thomas was at the free throw line. It got to an absurd point where I was watching Friends with Benefits on E! Network, which was a bomb movie, by the way. I love Mila Kunis.
It's a good movie.
But whenever I kept switching back to the Knicks game, Isaiah Thomas was at the free throw line. This was all because I was invested in the game in the first half. Because good things looked like they were going to happen. And Derrick Rose... I was impressed. I liked how he looked.
25 points for Derrick Rose. It was an efficient game. I gotta say, he
looked nice out there.
There were some vintage Derrick Rose maneuvers. He's completely redefined his game this season, and he's no longer relying on as much athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just trying to do floaters. He's just trying to get into the paint. And once he gets into the paint, then he's making up his mind.
And also a 22-12 by Porzingis.
That was good. To me, the downfall of this team has been what it's been for so long. Carmelo.
Oh,
why aren't you passing the ball?
You're gonna be a hater again.
Why aren't you First of all,
he missed a lot of shots.
My
early.
favorite
His statistics look worse because he was bad early and got good late.
My favorite player in the NBA, Avery Bradley.
Oh, of course.
You saw that play. Avery Bradley strips him.
Jesus.
Entire world knew Carmelo wasn't passing right there. Now I got to give it up to the Knicks because that was a surprisingly competitive game.
I would have let me just say on that play with Carmelo, instead of him, I know he's the guy you go to in that situation, but I would have loved for a nice little pick and pop.
With Porzingis?
Yes. Give him a mid-range shot.
I would have liked to see what Porzingis did.
Just let him just float it in.
Well, because Porzingis completely sparked their comeback.
Here's the thing. If the Knicks win a title, it's going to be with Porzingis as the main player. Give him reps in these moments.
Yep. And the other thing that we learned during this game was that the Knicks, they can't play defense, but the little defense that they do is all Porzingis.
Yeah.
Porzingis had 4 blocks that game. But the thing that I worry about Porzingis is that he kept getting bodied by Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is 6'4".
Marcus Smart is muscle mass, though.
Now,
Marcus Smart is if Marshawn Lynch started playing basketball.
Now Marcus Smart weighs 220. Porzingis only weighs 240.
Side note, how did Marcus Smart make a three-pointer?
That was fun.
What was that?
Hey,
Marcus
Smart is an improved shooter. I'll say it. He's having a fantastic year.
How can you say that with a straight face?
Last year, I was kind of aboard the trade Marcus Smart for Nerlons Noel train, but this season, oh God, no, I wouldn't give up more than like Terry Rozier for Noel. But we'll get to Noel later. But that game was the Knicks seriously had some fight in them towards the end. My question is, why can't they play like that all game?
It was just the Knicks have a problem in the third quarter. They just kind of like something happens and they just kind of just fall down and they get back up, but sometimes it's too late.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
That makes sense.
One thing that I don't understand why the Knicks don't run more maybe pick and pop or some kind of play where Kuzminskis is open in the corner, because Kuzminskis can't do anything other than shoot three-pointers, but he can shoot three-pointers.
Yeah,
they kept trying to run some plays where Kuzminskis was the least bit physical. You think Porzingis gets bodied. I saw Kuzminskis was trying to drive on Jay Crowder.
Yep.
Like that. That was probably one of the worst moves in history.
You don't body up Jay Crowder. That dude he's a tank.
Especially when you weigh about 100 pounds, are skinny and from Lithuania. All right.
That's true. Next game, Christmas Day. Main attraction. Wow. Cavaliers at Golden State Warriors in the land, Cleveland, Ohio.
The thing that really amazed me the most about this game is that it turned into LeBron versus Durant Volume 5.
Yep, and LeBron wins every volume, we should probably point out.
It really kind of, it was just kind of like everybody kind of forgot about Curry.
Now,
and Thompson.
Here's the thing.
Curry, it was Durant.
Curry had 15 points. He shot 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3-point. Klay did all right. He had 24 points. But this is now a trend against the Cavaliers. They body up Curry and they make him be physical. And Curry, you look back at last year's finals and you even look at the finals that they won 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. Curry's
not that good when he plays the Cavaliers.
They just can stop him.
He's just he becomes human. And I was reading on Twitter later about like how the only reason why the Cavaliers won is because Curry had an off game. Yeah, well, Curry's had an off game every time he plays the Cavaliers. The problem is clearly him. Durant dropped 36 and 15, but LeBron dropped 31 and 13.
And Kyrie took over the game.
Kyrie took over the game at the end. During the middle of the game, Kyrie was kind of but what I gotta say about Kyrie, he put up quite the stat sheet. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists, and the best part, 7 steals.
And this is all without JR.
This is with DeAndre Liggins starting in their starting lineup. The dude who they only gave a contract to try to convince JR, yo, we're moving on from you if you don't come here. He was a pity contract.
Oh my God, man.
Now,
how was Liggins starting over Shumpert?
Shumpert's having a rough season.
What is Shumpert? It's Shumpert, all boys up to something.
Now you want to talk?
You need some Robo-Tussin.
You want to talk about the Cavaliers bench? Can we talk about Richard Jefferson?
Richard Jefferson.
To quote LeBron James, 95-year-old Richard Jefferson.
Richard Jefferson. Keep getting them checks, Richard Jefferson, for 2 years ago.
He's earning those checks.
He's making checks. Oh my God.
What a
Richard Jefferson.
Richard Jefferson, in case you don't know, had 2 monster dunks, one over Kevin Durant and then one over Klay Thompson. And the one over Kevin Durant, he then got a technical foul for turning around and winking at him.
Man, NBA is too soft. I say this every podcast. It's a bunch of wimps out there.
No, I agree. The NBA is
grow some balls, man. Come
seriously.
on. The NBA was the best, I think, in the 1990s, where you had to be physical, you had to there were fights, there was grimy, it was that mentality, man.
If I am the Warriors, the Cavaliers.
I'm extremely worried about the Warriors.
The Cavaliers won by 1 on a Kyrie Irving game winner. But there were a lot of signs in that game that really this game probably should have been more in the Cavaliers' favor. The Cavaliers out-rebounded the Warriors on the offensive glass 5-18.
Well, we knew that was coming.
But still, you can't allow that many second-chance points. The Cavaliers just exposed what the Warriors, their weakness is. A lot of turnovers, and they can't rebound. No one on their team can stop LeBron when LeBron gets into the paint, unless you're relying on JaVale McGee.
Who's actually not bad.
Dude,
he's having a good year.
Is he still have you on Snapchat?
He added me on Snapchat for people who don't know in the summer, and he's still a friend of mine on Snapchat.
Send him a message and be like, God damn, JaVale.
Definitely probably one of the 10 fans who follows JaVale McGee.
When he wins Shaq in a full MVP this year, again, you should send him a nice congratulatory message. Be like, hey, you won 3 MVPs before Curry.
True, that's quite true. But I find it so amusing that everybody knows the Warriors' weakness and they actually can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but most teams can't expose it.
The weird thing that I wonder if there is some way Bob Myers can pull this off, but you know who's in Dallas and is on the trading block because they have had such a terrible year?
Andrew Bogut.
Bogut. Is there some way he can come back? Is there some way?
I don't think they're allowed to get him back. Are they?
Is that a thing?
I don't think you're allowed to have a player back after you trade him. I might be wrong now. Honestly, I'm not sure.
But that being said,
there's so many teams that would give up way more for Andrew Bogut than the Warriors could offer. I know the Celtics are gonna go ham after him.
I saw I saw the Warriors playing David West.
Yep.
During the second quarter.
They're playing
and
the corpse of David West.
I feel bad for David West.
Why
I was
is
a
he
massive
even in
fan
the league
of
at
him,
this point?
because he wants to do a Karl Malone.
Seriously.
And like be on the Warriors when they lose the finals to the Cavs. But like when they don't make the finals, that's actually
one of the big concerning
one
of the big concerning things if I'm a Golden State fan, which there are plenty of Golden State fans, bandwagoners. Let's get that out of the way. In case you don't know, I absolutely hate Golden State.
Yeah. I mean, I can tolerate. There's a really pretty girl I know who's a Golden State fan. Who knows? But
oh, come on, that's not a reason to like a team. That's
not
a reason
I don't
to
like the Warriors.
Team.
I don't like the Warriors.
I don't mind some of their roster, but I just can't stand Draymond Green. But that being said,
he needs to stop
Green,
kicking people in the nuts.
Green
it's really
gave
bad.
Quite the Christmas present to the Cavaliers, an early technical foul, 2 fouls.
Well, it wasn't a foul.
Yeah, but they still called it, and then he didn't have to
react
the way
It was a really
did.
bad call.
He's lucky they didn't eject him immediately.
It was a god awful call though.
I don't care. He shouldn't have
Can
reacted the way he did.
Can I just take a minute back to the Celtics game for a minute?
Okay, sure. Back to the Celtics.
Let me just take a moment to say that Marcus Smart is one of the most prolifically absurd floppers in NBA history.
Oh, come on.
That's Reggie Miller to shame.
No, I can't deny that, but that being said, the amount that he flops, he is a physical player. He also leads the league in charges drawn. And say what you want about him.
The charges drawn is probably attributed to him flopping.
He still takes a lot of contact. He's been elbowed in the face more than anyone this year.
Do you remember when Solomon Hill went Vince Carter over him? He didn't actually touch him and Marcus Smart drove a charge on that?
Yep, I do remember that.
That was the best dunk of the year. I don't care what people say.
Did you see Richard Jefferson?
Yeah, but he Frederick Weissed him.
Oh
he
my
Vince
God.
Cartered him.
Oh my God.
Vince Carter is thought of as having the best dunk of all time by a lot of people.
All right. You got anything more to add about Golden State Cleveland?
No, other than the fact that Zebo is going to beat them in the playoffs.
Whoa, I like it.
It's my weird prediction that nobody else has. I think the Grizzlies.
All right.
The Grizzlies, weirdly enough, I think this is their year.
Next game was Chicago, San Antonio. And before the game, I was like, wow, the NBA didn't add really any time to break between games. Then I realized they put in this game, and that was perfect. I didn't need to watch that.
I actually watched this. LaMarcus Aldridge scored the first 8 points.
Yeah.
It just pick and pop, pick and pop,
he
pick
made his first 11 shots of the game.
Now,
I did watch the beginning.
They kept running the exact same play, and the Bulls couldn't defend it.
I'll call it as it is. When the score was like 20-4, I turned it off.
I switched channels, and then weirdly enough, the Bulls were like within 4 going into the half or something. I don't know. It was very strange.
Feeling it.
Now, it's been such a weird year for the Bulls, who I wouldn't have. Rajon Rondo is somehow leading them in 3-point percentage.
Yeah,
which is really a terrible fact. It's a very disturbing fact.
Yeah, I'm really
like the coach of GM of a
now
team.
after this season, Rondo is, I believe, back to a free agent, or is there a team option, or is it
I think it's a 2-year contract. I think he's on 2 years.
So after 2 years, where does Rondo go? Rondo has no place in this league anymore.
He goes to the Kings or back to the Bulls.
It's funny because back in the day, I was so upset when the Celtics didn't give him his max contract.
Yeah,
and I thought he deserved it. And I was like, wow, we got. Back then, Jay Crowder was a no one when they got him. He was a throw-in piece to the trade. This trade was centered around Brandon Wright and a first-round pick.
Brandon Wright.
I'm like, wow, that's all we got for Rondo. You know, with the first-round pick, I believe we took R.J. Hunter. No, that was with the Clippers pick. It was Ante Zizic. That's who we took with the pick.
Ante Zizic. He's definitely never gonna play in the NBA.
I think he'll come over next year. They could use him. He's a big dude, 6'11".
There's been a lot of Antes that haven't come over yet.
Fair enough.
Been a lot.
But wow, that was a good trade for the Celtics.
If nothing else for Rajon Rondo, at least he was in one of my very favorite lyrics of the year. Gucci Mane and Black Beatles. I Euro step past a hater like I'm Rondo. I upgrade your baby mama to a condo.
One of the funniest lines I heard in a song all year was the song Rebel by G-Eazy. He was talking about
You listen to G-Eazy?
I do not, but I heard the song. What do I look like?
I was about to roast you for listening to G-Eazy.
Listen to G-Eazy. Come on. But you'll appreciate this line. He says something about like how like this dude's concert is less sold out than a Pistons-Bucks game.
I'd go to watch the Pistons and the Bucks.
Pistons Bucks, I'd go see that. Then
See,
again,
Giannis-
I'm the dude who's been to like
As long
5
as
Brooklyn
I can
Nets
see
games
Giannis,
this year.
I'd go to 5 Brooklyn Nets games to see
choice-
Sean Kilpatrick.
My choice is either literally get a Chipotle burrito or go to a Nets game. They cost the same.
I'm actually gonna try to like afford some Celtics games in the nosebleeds.
Oh God, good luck.
But it's
They're no Nets.
yeah.
All right, next game that was up, Minnesota, OKC. Russell Westbrook, of course, puts on a show. OKC wins. And I don't think anyone really saw this coming.
Touch on one of the
Anyone was surprised by this.
I mean, I've been very, very disappointed by the Timberwolves this year.
They've been awful.
It's been
weird.
What is this?
I mean, they're 9-21 right now.
I mean, it's just
Tom
going to be a
Thibodeau
transition.
was supposed to improve their defense. They've been pretty shit.
I think they'll still be good in a year or two.
Now, here's my bold prediction. They got to trade Andrew Wiggins. This team is not going to be good until Zach LaVine is their surefire second best player.
Really? You really want them to trade Wiggins? Who would we go for? Who do you think would be a nice...
That's the problem. I don't know. Maybe the Bulls try to blow it up and they get Jimmy Butler for him, reunite him, something like that. But the way I look at it, Wiggins doesn't really have that much interest in playing defense.
Is Wiggins a decent enough shooter to like
he can't
do anything?
Shoot.
That's
he
the
can't
problem.
Shoot.
Butler's a better shooter.
He's athletic as hell. I'll give him that.
Bulls.
But I just don't know how he can. I just don't see him in long term in Minnesota. I bet they trade him. Thibodeau has he loves his old Bulls players. I say maybe we see a Jimmy Butler for Andrew Wiggins and something like that kind of trade.
A player who was going to end up on the Minnesota Timberwolves within the next year. Bold prediction.
Okay.
Kirk Heinrich.
That's not even a bold prediction. That's not a bold prediction.
It's going to come true, though.
It's going to come true.
It's going to come true.
That's not bold, though. Tom Thibodeau, come on. Here's my bold prediction, and Taj Gibson's going to end up there, too. Now, here's my actual bold prediction.
The Timberwolves need to keep Gorgie Jang as the starting center.
Here's my actual bold prediction. You mean power forward. They get Paul Millsap in the free agency.
The T-Wolves?
Yep. He'd be perfect next to Towns.
That would be an interesting combination.
Either that, or can he come to the Celtics, please?
Millsap and Horford with Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
That still doesn't win you a chip, though.
Yeah, but then we're also going to sign Gordon Hayward. We're going to trade for LeBron. We're going to trade for Klay Thompson. We're going to get Durant. Everyone's going to come to Boston. It's going to be great. It's going to be the Boston Tea Party all over again.
Whatever happened to Klay Thompson maybe going to the Celtics?
I don't want him.
Klay Thompson might, if he were on the Celtics, I think he could get the Celtics to at least the Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe he could. The thing with Klay is this. In a playoff series, you're most likely... On those old Warriors teams, you're going to get this. Now, I don't know. But you're going to get 2 crazy Klay games.
Yep.
Which is going to give you 2 wins.
Yep.
He's just going to go nuts. He's only had one of those games this year.
The thing with him, I just don't know if at this point he's that much of a better option. Now, the Celtics would have to give up a lot for him. And I don't know. They'd probably have to give up, like, Jay Crowder and Avery Bradley.
It's a lot.
Is Klay Thompson worth more than both of those guys? On top of that, that would make Golden State absolutely over the top, hands down favorite. Like they already are.
Yeah.
But
that deals a massive blow to the Celtics defense. Though.
I don't like it.
Would you then start though, like Thomas, Smart, and Thompson all at the same time? And then play like...
Well, then the problem is they don't have a small... Yeah. I just don't see how this trade could happen.
It's a serious problem.
And unless we're going to give... the Warriors aren't going to want a Brooklyn Nets pick because they don't want to rebuild.
Yeah.
Do you know who would like a Brooklyn Nets pick? The Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, shut up. Fuck you. All right, but let's touch on the Thunder actually for a second.
All right.
The other team in this matchup.
Yep.
I think Westbrook is a surefire lock for the MVP.
Oh, we'll get to that later with our preseason awards.
I think the Thunder are just one of those teams who they're one player away.
Yep. And I think that one player is Rudy Gay. I said this over the summer too.
I love Rudy Gay on the Thunder.
Think about this starting lineup. Russell Westbrook, Victor Oladipo, Rudy Gay, Sabonis, Steven Adams. Can you even imagine a more athletic starting lineup?
That would give the Warriors massive problems.
The big problem with the Warriors right now is that when teams try to outrun them, they can't usually... They struggle with 2 things.
Teams can never outrun them. That's the problem.
Cavaliers outran them.
Weirdly, that's the weird thing, though, because a lot of teams try to play like the Warriors, and that just works terribly in
No,
their
Warriors
favor.
like to fast break, but they like to fast break off of your slow offense.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you're the only two teams that can out-Warriors the Warriors are the Cavs and the Rockets, and we know the Rockets are irrelevant.
Yep, the Rockets can't play enough defense.
Did you see the Rockets were number 5 in ESPN's power rankings? That's a blasphemous move.
What do you think? Where do you think they should be?
But you gotta understand the Rockets are gonna lose in like the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, but the regular season they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun to watch, but they can't.
It's Mike D'Antoni. What do you expect? You're a Knicks fan. You know D'Antoni.
Exactly. I hate Mike D'Antoni. But anyway, I think Rudy Gay on the Thunder is scary for the Warriors.
I agree. Problem is then with that is there enough shooting? But I mean,
he can still have Morrow off the bench if they can keep him.
But he's already a better shooter than Roberson.
And you still got he can't pass and can't shoot if they can keep him and LeBron, you know. It's enough stuff, I think.
But Jeremy Grant's been good for them. I like him.
Yeah. He's been a weird pickup who's like actually worked.
Yeah,
I didn't expect this to
one player who's sitting on the bottom of a bench right now and I'm waiting for him to come out somewhere. Can we get KJ McDaniels some freaking minutes already? Yep. Seriously? Yep. Release KJ McDaniels.
Can I say Sean Marks? Sean Marks alert. Come on.
Okay, talking about Sean Marks alert. Why didn't he get Pierre Jackson?
I don't know.
That, to me, was a no-brainer, and he just didn't do it.
Whatever. It's one decision.
Whatever.
All right, and
he's been good for them. Last game of the night, though, Lakers beating the Clippers. Not really that much you can take out of the game. There was no Blake Griffin, no Chris Paul. You were starting Raymond Felton,
who's actually had a good year. Because he was kind of playing some of the best basketball of his career, which I don't think anybody in the world saw coming.
No, not at all. But it's funny because Timofey Mozgov this year, I ripped apart the Lakers for signing him, but he's been decent. Is he worth as much as they gave him? No. But it's funny, is he shooting 52% this year? But his misses have been funny.
Oh, yeah.
He's missed some bad shots this year.
The problem with Mozgov, he just doesn't fit.
I agree. He doesn't fit in their timetable. Neither does Luol Deng.
I'd love to see if the Lakers could somehow rob Vlade Divac and just get Willie Cauley-Stein.
Why are we always shitting on Vlade Divac?
Because he's fun to shit on.
That's
true.
He's not
good.
It's easy.
It's very simple. But... could they pry Willie Cauley-Stein away from the Kings? Because he's one of the most underrated players, I think, in the league right now.
How about Nerlons Noel?
Position.
Maybe.
That kind of leads us to our very next topic. Does it
very next topic, actually. Nerlons Noel, ironically enough. What is going on with Nerlons Noel? If you don't know, Nerlons Noel is the unfortunate byproduct, I guess you could say, of having too many centers on your team.
# trust the process.
Hey, you know what? Embiid's been insane.
Such a legend.
But Nerlons Noel this year is averaging 4 points a game, 2 rebounds. In his last game, he played 4 minutes. Nerlons Noel is like a starting caliber player on most teams. I mean, they have Julien Okafor, they have and they have Embiid,
Saric,
Ben Simmons coming down eventually. They got to get rid of Jaleel and Noel soon. And Noel is obviously the one who's more close to gone.
Here's the question. Can you find out what position Simmons is supposed to play?
Power forward, not even a question.
Exactly, in the span of 2 months, though.
Simmons is going to play point guard.
I think power forward is exactly what
he's going to play point forward. He's going to play point guard. He's going to run their offense, but he's going to guard fours.
Yeah, and I don't think that has room for Okafor or Noel.
Yeah,
but can you judge in 2 months whether or not to keep them? This Noel
situation is seriously unlike anything we've seen.
It's preposterous.
Usually when you have a player who doesn't fit, you trade him. You get the value that he has before his value sinks when you don't play him, and then you get rid of him. What do the Sixers do? Can we get Sam Hinkie back already? Seriously, is Brian Colangelo the worst GM in the league besides Vlade Divac?
Vlade, okay, worst GMs in my opinion. Billy King, David Kahn, Vlade Divac.
How about current GMs though?
Okay, he's the second worst.
Yeah. Second worst, I'll take it.
Billy King is like an analyst for NBA TV. My ass, Jesus Christ.
Well, last year he was a special advisor to the Clippers.
I am done with networks trying to like say, okay, this is a advisor. This is our analyst for like GMs. They have NFL is the ESPN has Mark Dominic. Who messed up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Like, why am I listening to this man's opinion?
Well, yeah. Well,
what did this guy do?
Just wait till next season when Rex Ryan is an analyst. That's inevitable.
I used to be a Rex Ryan supporter on the Jets, and now I found out he was a Trump supporter and a redneck and all that bad stuff. So now I hate him. Anyway, back to Noel.
I've hated him long before that. I'm a New England fan.
Yeah. But like looking at the Colangelo situation, first of all, I mean, it's important for everyone to remember that Brian Colangelo was the man who got this job because of his dad.
Yep.
A. And
that's
B,
true.
He drafted Andre Bargnani, number 1.
Yep.
C, he completely wasted Chris Bosh.
That's
and
correct.
D, he traded for Rudy Gay.
Yep. Those are usually 3 things that would disqualify you from any GM job.
Yeah.
Unless your dad is in charge of the team.
Zam, Zaddy.
Thanks, Dad.
God damn it.
Oh my God. But
such a bad move.
What do they do with Nerlens Noel?
The quote that
he has no fit there.
The quote that I absolutely love is Brian Colangelo says, "Oh, we're not gonna like sacrifice. We're not gonna like get anything less for him, just for the good of the team, just so to trade him." He doesn't understand like the concept that Noel's trade value is like dropping by the minute. Because he's complaining and is sensible and wants to be traded.
Now
people think he has an attitude problem now. He doesn't have an attitude problem. He's sensible.
Yeah.
He wants to leave.
Now, who says no in this imaginary trade offer? Terry Rozier from the Celtics for Nerlens Noel, straight up. Who says no?
Just have the Celtics throw in some like
we'll throw in James Young.
Player.
We'll throw in James Young. Please take James Young.
James Young celebrating on the bench during the Knicks and Celtics game. He's like smiling ear to ear.
I don't even
like having so much fun.
I don't even look at him. I hate James Young.
I had so much confidence in James.
So did I. And James Young has been the most disappointing player of my lifetime for me because as a Celtics fan, I saw his dunk in the national championship game. I thought that this dude was going to be like the next big thing.
Talk about a beautiful shot.
Remember when he was drafted and Bill Simmons was like, this dude's going to be the steal of the draft?
Yep.
Yeah. He's got to actually get on the court to be the steal of the draft. He's in his 3rd year now. He still doesn't know where he is on defense.
Speaking of people who haven't gotten playing time, though, the Knicks need to somehow find minutes for Clay Anthony early because I still have a lot of confidence in him. I still think he's going to be a good player.
I agree. He was first-round talent in the second round.
He just hasn't gotten minutes the last year or two. And when he got minutes at the very end of the Knicks' god-awful season 2 years ago, he was actually he was scoring.
Yeah.
He's a scorer. He got shot in the foot at a strip club last year. He went to a strip club with his girlfriend. Who takes a girl on a date to a strip club?
Hey, maybe she's just mad chill.
Maybe
you don't know.
Man.
You don't know her.
I mean, that's true. I guess she's down with all that. I mean, Black China took Rob Kardashian to a strip club.
Yeah, well, that's also a whole other topic on its own.
Oh yeah, it's a fun topic though. I mean, back to Nerlens Noel. The thing is,
he's gonna be a free agent at the end of this year.
Well, and he's definitely not coming back, obviously.
Yeah.
If I actually like the Rozier trade because the Sixers have been in desperate need of any like kind of guard species
whatsoever.
That's not named Gerald Henderson.
Sergio Rodriguez has been but TJ McConnell is not usually the person
They still have
want.
Stauskas hanging around.
But Terry Rozier is a point guard, and he's being wasted in Boston. I mean, Boston doesn't play him anymore. A lot of that's been because of Gerald Green's little coming out party here, which has been awesome. Gerald Green got an offensive rebound last game against the Grizzlies. And what does he do? Most people look for the easy layup. He sprints back to the three-point line and takes a 3 and swishes it.
Gerald Green's one of the most very fun players to watch in the NBA.
To quote Isaiah Thomas, it only takes one shot for Gerald Green to feel like he's on fire.
It's like if Derek Williams were good. It's tantalizing.
Well, we're never going to know what that's like.
Sad. I really liked Derek Williams.
Yeah.
I had a confidence that he was going to be good last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's...
It didn't work.
Yeah, it did not work.
Anyway, is there any... I mean, yeah, I think Rozier is a fit, but I think the Sixers would think that they're not getting enough value.
Yeah.
I still think that
the way the Sixers are going to look at it is, wow, this dude was the 6th pick in the draft, I think, and Terry Rozier was the 16th. So for us, that's not a good trade. But you know what? At this point in their careers, where they were drafted doesn't matter. Otherwise, Adam Morrison, Adam Morrison would be a hot commodity on the trade market here.
He is. You didn't hear?
He just signed a max contract with the Lakers. With the Kings, with the Kings.
Oh, yeah. It's only Julien when he was resigned from training camp with the Lakers.
Pretty much. He was like, I don't like my role with the team. They're like, what did you think you were coming back to?
Julion's he's a bench warmer on a D-League team.
Did he go back over to China?
Must have.
Probably. All right, moving on from Nerlons Noel. Most disappointing teams in the league this year. I'll let you start. I know you got some opinions on this.
Well, for me, one of the most, if not the most, I think, is none other than the Detroit Pistons. And
Detroit Pistons, all right.
I was very disappointed the other day to hear that Stan Van Gundy's head might be on the chopping block over there. And when I watched every single game of the divisional round, the very first round of the playoffs last year, between Detroit and Cleveland, I was impressed at what I saw. I saw a young, hungry group of guys that weren't afraid of Cleveland. They did get swept, but at the same time, they played hard. They were competitive. And that's what, you really want to see from a young group of guys. And I thought that the Pistons were kind of prepared to take a step forward this year. And I was really let down. Drummond's still Drummond. He's still one of the very best big men in the game. But his supporting cast has just fallen apart. Henry Ellenson, who people thought, he's the missing piece here, is averaging all of 0.8 points per game.
Yeah.
Boban is barely being used.
Yep.
Who Dwayne Dedmon is, I'm happy to see, has replaced his role somehow on the Spurs.
Yeah.
But
it's funny because obviously only the Spurs could literally replace someone like Boban Bogdanovic with
Dwayne Dedmon.
With Dwayne Dedmon and have it work out.
And Davis Bertans.
Yeah.
Davis Bertans.
Seriously. It's
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know where the Spurs find these dudes.
People should honestly, this is a very controversial opinion, I'm sure, but NBA teams should just
see what the Spurs are doing and copy
they should fire all their scouts and hire detectives.
Oh my god.
Stalk R.C. Buford and just see who he looks at.
Seriously.
Just
if he goes near, you draft him.
That's all you have to do.
What's this? Ben Simmons is the supposed to be the number 1 pick, but who's this Davis Bertans dude you're following? All right, we're taking him.
The Spurs are just it's beautiful.
All right, but back to the Pistons.
Stanley Johnson is in the D-League.
They've had a rough season, but I think a big part of that was because Reggie Jackson missed so many games early.
Yeah.
But with him, they haven't been that much better. And a big part of that is if you look at Andre Drummond's stats from this year to last year, he's averaging less rebounds, less points, and the biggest thing is less shot attempts.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have your offense around him.
Mm-hmm. The Pistons are supposed to be an old school team.
There's 4 out, 1 in. Throw Tobias Harris at the power forward and put him on the wing. That should be your team right there. But for some reason, it's just not working. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is having kind of a down year almost. Ish Smith has been all right, but it hasn't. They haven't had that same Pistons kind of. I don't want to have them be the Memphis Grizzlies in this situation, but they haven't had the same grit and grind that they did last year.
Exactly. And with that grit and grind, the one team that I kind of had to take a liking to the Pistons for the simple fact that they kind of reminded me of the Knicks in the 90s.
With the Knicks team in the 90s,
with the team kind of centered around Patrick Ewing and Reggie Jackson's kind of like Derek Harper-y.
Okay.
And I feel like it's not really right to compare Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to the god John Starks, who Will, by the way, met.
I did meet him.
And then you kind of have Tobias Harris and Charles Oakley are extremely different, but Anthony Mason and Marcus Morris, you could kind of draw a little bit of a comparison somehow.
All right.
Because they get in fights and stuff. But it was just disappointing. And another team who I have to say I'm disappointed by is the Washington Wizards.
That's a good pick.
Who I
was one of those people who most people are like, oh wow, Scott Brooks. I don't think Scott Brooks is a very good coach. And he's doing it to them exactly what he did in D.C. It's a lot more isolation ball. I just don't get what Washington is doing.
I feel like
This
Otto
just-
Porter and Kelly Oubre are getting misused somehow.
Well, Otto Porter's been having a decent year, and I think some team is probably going to desperately throw a max contract at him.
Yeah.
Like they did to Harrison Barnes this offseason. Looking at
I still like that contract.
I don't.
He's
I don't
had
like.
some good games.
Yeah, but they're still like the worst team in the league.
Yeah, but look, like
Now
who's
my-
around him? They're starting like Salah Mejri.
That's true, but my
it's a
absolute
problem.
worst team or most disappointing team in the league this year. How could you not pick them? The Portland Trailblazers.
It's a very disappointing.
Last year they were like the shock of the NBA. They lost their entire team. Somehow made the playoffs. They won the first round against the Clippers, and that was obviously only because the Clippers were decimated by injuries. But
And if you look at their offseason, it was promising. They signed Festivus Ezeli.
yeah, but Festus Ezeli hasn't played yet this year.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I just look at it, and most people are going to be like, yeah, it's because they signed Evan Turner. First of all, Evan Turner is being so misused in Portland. It's insane.
He's not a small forward.
Terry Scott is throwing him on the wing as a small forward.
He's not a small
Terry
forward.
Stotts, excuse me. He is a point guard. He is a point guard, and you have to
As
play
strange
him
as
at
it may
point
seem,
guard.
he's a point guard.
That's what Brad Stevens did, and that's where he was good.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And
It's that simple.
we'll get to George Karl after this, but he said that Damian Lillard, it's all his fault that they're
oh my
so
God.
bad.
Like, shut up. Just shut up. Come on.
Oh, you want me to
Who's
rant,
talking to you,
rant
man?
for a quick
Who's
second?
talking to you,
if
son?
Damian Lillard is a superstar in this league, then so is Isaiah Thomas. I am getting so pissed off at all these people who are like, wow, Isaiah Thomas isn't a star in this league because he can't play defense. His defensive numbers are better than Lillard's, and so are his offensive numbers.
Thomas and Lillard are both stars. They're not superstars.
I don't care. You go on Twitter, you see like angry little Celtics fans who are like probably like 12 years old. You can probably tell based on their little Twitter profiles. But they're like we should trade Thomas for Nerlens Noel, or Celtics aren't gonna win until Thomas is back at sixth man. And then what's their evidence? Well, he's not Kyrie Irving. Yeah, well, there's only one Kyrie Irving in the league. Who are we going to get that's better than Isaiah Thomas? I love Isaiah Thomas right now. I'm having so much fun with this team this year when they're healthy. When they're not healthy, it's been a disaster. But when they're healthy so far this year, they're 12-4. Right now, their record, if they've been healthy all year and maintained that pace, they would be the second best team in the league, a game behind Cleveland. But they've had some injury troubles. Al Horford missed 9 games. Crowder missed 8. Isaiah Thomas missed a bunch.
I have a question. Who's more of a star? Isaiah Thomas or Al Horford?
Isaiah Thomas.
I'd agree with that. I don't think Al Horford's actually a star yet.
I do.
I think he's barely there.
Well, I mean, he's not getting better. He's 30.
That's the problem. Al Horford's kind of... He might go Amari or something on the Celtics. I'm kind of worried about that.
No, he's been... his numbers aren't jumping off the page, but if you watch him play, he's been phenomenal. I have no problems with the contract they gave him. Right now, he's the highest paid center in the league, and I would give him that contract 10 times over.
I was actually listening to the Bill Simmons podcast earlier, and one topic I wanted to bring up is that... Shout out to Bill Simmons, because his podcast is awesome.
It is.
But, they made some comparisons from Blake Griffin to Amari Stoudemire. And I really was interested in this comparison because they're really both breaking down.
Yeah.
Like, Amari was breaking down at Blake Griffin's point in his career.
Yeah.
Like,
I could see that. Like, I wouldn't particularly love it right now if the Celtics traded for, like, Blake Griffin or if, like, they signed him.
But the question is, should the Clippers trade Blake right now?
That's tough.
Like...
Plus, it's kind of hard to trade an injured player, especially. I don't think you can in the first place. If they're on the not on the active roster, I don't think you can trade them.
Yeah.
But I mean, when he's healthy, I feel like you have to explore trades.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it might be time to. Now, here's an interesting trade. Maybe Blake Griffin for what's his name, Paul Millsap, and someone like Ken Bazemore.
I don't like that.
You don't?
I wouldn't. That's a good trade, I think, that's a great trade for the Clippers. But that's a terrible trade for the Hawks.
Yeah, but the Hawks are the ones who prioritized Dwight Howard over Al Horford. Clearly, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that was not a... I mean, Dwight Howard hasn't been that bad this year.
No, but Al Horford's been better.
I've liked what I've seen from Dwight Howard. The Hawks are a weird team. It's just not really gonna work.
That's true.
I mean,
I agree.
I mean, Kyle Korver is quite old. Schroeder, I do like.
I saw one of the weirdest small ball lineups ever the other night. It was Paul Millsap at the 5 with Kyle Korver at the 4. That's taken small ball to a whole new level.
The weird thing is, Klay Thompson has kind of been Kyle Korver this year.
Yeah.
In a strange way.
Well, they haven't needed him to be anything special.
And it's kind of a criminal misuse of Klay Thompson.
Yeah, which is why they should trade him.
He needs the ball in his hands. It's a criminal misuse.
Yeah. They need to try to trade him for a center. You know what would be interesting? Klay Thompson for DeMarcus. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I actually like that straight up.
Does that money work?
I wonder.
I'm not sure.
I mean, Thompson, how much does he have left on his contract? Because we know Boogie's got a year and a half.
I honestly don't know what Klay Thompson's contract is.
Did he re-sign a few years ago? I think
he signed a max. Because I know Steph Curry's the 5th highest paid player on the Warriors.
Gotta do something to make the money work. Maybe,
Because this offseason, they're going to have to get rid of Iguodala in order to keep Durant and Curry. And they're probably going to have to...
It's going to
be iffy.
It's not the end of the world to get rid of Iguodala while you still can. Because Iguodala's... He's got a lot of games on his body.
He does.
But he's going to have one of these years in a year or two. I'm sorry, Andre Iguodala, but I think his body's just going to break down. He's got a lot of mileage. A lot of mileage.
But getting back to the Portland Trailblazers from before with the most disappointing teams, their offense has been fine this year. Their problem is the fact that they're the worst defense in the league.
Mason Plumlee's got to step up.
And a big part of that to me is that you just gave big money to Allen Crabbe and Evan Turner, but Allen Crabbe is not a defensive player.
No,
they need to.
No,
Aminu's been in and out of the lineup. He hasn't been that great this year. He's a very good defender. If I were them, I would just start looking at trades for good defensive players.
They still have Connaughton off the bench.
Connaughton's been I like Connaughton. I was hoping the Celtics would have drafted him. He's from Massachusetts.
I don't like Connaughton, but whatever. But one player who has been on a trading block who I want the team to hold on to.
Yeah.
But if you're the Blazers, you want some defensive players. Tony Allen is available.
I don't know.
I don't like it, but he is available. Weirdly
That's
enough.
True.
And I think he needs to stay on the Grizzlies because I think the Grizzlies can. I think this is the Grizzlies' year.
To me, the absolute perfect player for the Portland Trailblazers is Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
He can shoot. He can defend. I don't know how they would get him from Boston. I don't think Boston would ever give him up for anyone they have, but I think he'd be perfect there. Or maybe you just go all in on offense and just try to outscore teams and get a Rudy Gay.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. If the playoffs were to happen now, Portland would have the 8th seed.
I think they're the 10th now.
Really? They dropped off?
I think the Sacramento Kings are 8th right now.
Oh my god. So that means they're definitely not going to trade Boogie.
No.
Because they think they have a shot at making the playoffs. Oh my god.
When in fact they just have a shot to get swept by the Warriors.
Weirdly enough, the Kings need to actually drop out of the playoff picture. If for the good of their team, they need to understand that because they need to trade Gay. If they're in the playoff, if they're like 9th seed or 10th seed come February, they're going to hold on to Gay and get nothing for him.
Yep.
Even though I feel bad for Rudy Gay because there's a reason he's playing well.
Yeah.
He wants to get out of there.
Yeah.
He needs to get out of there. I feel terrible for Rudy Gay.
That's true. But when it comes to Sacramento, DeMarcus Cousins is already 27, and you don't rebuild around a 27-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, it's kind of too late. And you look at their roster, and it just there's no clear direction. That's why I think they would. Okay, DeMarcus Cousins, and maybe like Caron Butler is a throw-in.
Butler's still on the Kings?
Yeah. Remember when Caron Butler was...
I feel bad.
Remember when Caron Butler would have been the centerpiece of a trade? Now he's a throw-in.
It's too bad. I love Caron Butler.
So do I. His book...
He's an OG.
His book I've heard
Caron
is
Butler
amazing.
is
I
an
do want
OG.
to read that.
I need to see that. I only got one book for Christmas, the autobiography of Bobby Brown. I was happy to get that. I really like autobiographies now. I really want to read the R. Kelly one.
DeMarcus Cousins and Caron Butler for Amir Johnson, Brooklyn Nets pick next year, because I don't think the Celtics can trade this one because it's a swap pick. So the next year, Brooklyn Nets pick, Clippers pick, Grizzlies pick. Those are both first-round picks. and then Jaylen Brown.
They won't do that. It makes sense.
It's brilliant. You know, they can have Terry Rozier too. Please take James Young. Please take James Young too. You know what? I forget. I'll throw in Isaiah Thomas if you take James Young. Oh God, I don't like James Young.
Would Horford and Cousins work?
I think so. I mean, the Celtics have been playing Horford primarily at the 4 this year.
Horford's weirdly enough, like, he can play kind of on the perimeter.
Yeah.
So I think he would actually be able to work with Boogie.
I mean, he's like, he's technically 6'10", but like he's like a 6'8", 6'9" kind of guy.
Yeah.
I think it could work. But moving on, here's a fun topic that I know you've been looking forward to. George Karl.
Oh boy.
George Karl wrote a book.
Curious George.
Curious George,
Yeah,
it's called.
I'm surprised he didn't get copyrighted on that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a very copyrightable
Basically,
title.
in this book, he rips apart everyone he has ever known in the NBA, and
Ray Allen, Carmelo, Kenyon Martin, AI.
J.R. Smith, different coaches. He says that all players who go to Germany are just using steroids.
Which is completely blasphemous, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but it's... Like, you can't... I can't believe that Kobe might use steroids.
Now, we both have our opinions on this George Karl book. I'm going to say mine first.
Yeah, you say yours first.
George Karl is a piece of shit. I believe that. This book is ridiculous. Hey, here's a great idea for a book. Let's write about how Carmelo Anthony doesn't play defense. Great idea, George.
Carmelo Anthony doesn't play defense?
Who knew? What, J.R. Smith is an entitled person? Who knew? Look, George, you're getting older. He's in his late 70s, right? Something like that. Whatever. He's getting older. He's no longer relevant in the league. This book's going to make him a lot of money. I understand why he did it. That being said, you can shit on the man all you want, but you cannot insult what he's done as a coach. And that is what's so weird. Because, yes, the criticism that George Karl is getting from players is completely warranted. Kenyon Martin ripped him apart on Twitter.
I'll get to that.
I agree with everything Kenyon Martin said, except for the fact when he said George Karl is a terrible coach. If George Karl was a terrible coach...
I'll get to that. I'll get to you on that.
If George Karl was a terrible coach, he wouldn't be, like, 5th all-time in wins. He wouldn't have been able to maneuver a Sean Kemp and Gary Payton train into the Western Conference Finals. That is some ego management.
That's a hell of a front court, though. Kevin Payton? Whew, God.
Gary Payton.
It's a fun team to watch.
Gary Payton, best point guard defender of all time. Is ridiculous.
Yep. The glove.
I don't know how you can insult what he's done as a coach. I mean, if players really disliked him as much as they did, he wouldn't have done that well as a coach.
Can I just say that those Seattle teams, they had some nice supporting pieces too. They had Hersey Hawkins, Detlef Schrempf,
yeah,
who is terrible to play against and awesome to play with in NBA 2K. He's screwed me a lot of times. He's worked well for me too. And Irvin Johnson, and that was some interesting teams.
Now, what is your opinion on him?
George Karl. Well, I'm gonna give a brief oral history of George Karl. So, I remember watching what was that show called on NBA TV?
The Association Denver Nuggets.
The Association Denver Nuggets, and
this was the year he had cancer.
Yep, I watched that. I love that show. I'm not sure if it's still on, but I like to watch old episodes on YouTube.
It's a shame.
And it was that show taught me a lot. I learned that Masai Ujiri is a genius. That Al Harrington is a G, one of my favorite players of all time. And I learned that I got the impression that George Karl was a good coach and a nice guy. And, he beat cancer twice.
And it seemed like players genuinely liked playing for him.
Yep, and he also managed to lead the Nuggets to the playoffs that year, and I thought it was blasphemous and just insane that he got fired the year he won a Coach of the Year.
Yep. Well, that seems to happen with most people who win Coach of the Year. You look back at different people, other than like Greg Popovich, most of them haven't lasted that long. I mean, Thibodeau was fired. It's basically most coaches get fired within 5 years after winning.
Well, and so I thought George Karl, I had confidence in him. I was like, I think this is a good guy. I felt bad for him in Sacramento. I thought that what he might have said in the media, I just felt bad for him because no coach, I mean, let's be honest, no coach is going to be productive in that situation, that environment.
Yeah.
With the kind of discord going around the Kings that we all know. And then, he got fired and everything, and I was like, okay. And I saw on the news that he had his book coming out. I was excited to read it because I like hearing, behind-the-scenes stories.
Yep.
And then I heard what he said about Carmelo Anthony and Kenyon Martin.
Yep.
He said that they had a lack of maturity and other things, because they lacked a father figure. George Karl, what right do you have? What right do you have? What right do you have to say that? No father figure. Come on, man, get out of here, man. That's disrespectful. Hey, I mean, calling Carmelo selfish, I actually don't think Carmelo's that selfish, because I like Carmelo. You know what? He actually really wants to win a championship for New York. He's a good guy. He wants to win a championship. He wants to bring it to New York. He wants to be that guy. He really does. You can call that selfish. I call it wanting to play for his fan base and do productive things. I like Carmelo. J.R. Smith, J.R. Smith was an asshole way back when he ordered $5,000 worth 5,000, I don't know, Chinese dollars worth of food for his hotel room to see if they would keep bringing it. Like, you know what? And, average like 50 points a game in China. But, I feel like he's a good guy now. He's got a kid. He won a championship.
He's married.
You know what, J.R. Smith, I think he's on his path to success. I mean, what right do you have to say that? It's okay, I guess it's okay to blast players, like, now that your career is gone and you're probably never gonna coach again. But, it's okay to speak your opinion or whatever, but just taking low blows at people, man, that's not okay. You can't just be doing that.
No, I agree with you completely.
And you know what? Kenyon Martin released an article through the Players Tribune, which I thought was very interesting, and George Karl should read. Because George Karl has a bad relationship with players, from Ray Allen to all kinds of guys. Guys don't like him. He's not a liked person. And you know what? Being a good coach, yes, he has a good record, wins and losses. But you know what he was not able to do? He was not able to bring the locker room together. He was not able to be the kind of guy that players love playing for. For that, I say, he is not a good coach.
Now, it's hard.
He knows basketball. He knows how to run plays and that kind of stuff.
With that.
But he's not a locker room guy.
Wins do not make a good coach.
Exactly.
If wins made a good coach, then Scott Brooks would be one of the top coaches of all time, because he has the highest winning percentage of a coach to ever be fired. Mm-hmm. That being said, it's not like he just had 2 winning seasons. He's been a coach for 30 years. He had multiple winning seasons. I get that he wasn't well liked, but you can't there's more to coaching than just managing a locker room. George Karl, okay, there's 3 parts to coaching. There's managing a locker room, there's basketball knowledge, and then there's actually getting success.
If there's a check mark next to every single one of them, yes, you're a good coach.
George Karl got 2 out of the 3. He got
mediocre.
Success.
I'll give him mediocre.
He got success and he got wins, but he could not get the final piece, and sometimes that is the most important piece. It's hard when you look at teams and you try to evaluate different people, because obviously if you do it based on wins and losses, like you said, but I don't know. I just don't know how you can critique his coaching record. He's a terrible human being. I don't think he's a very good person. But I just don't know how players can critique who he is, or his coaching. And
I just pulled up on my phone a new thing that George Karl said about the Kings owner, Vivek Ranadive. First of all, I will preface my comments by saying that I don't think Vivek Ranadive is a good owner. I mean, I've seen him on TV before. He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a good person.
No, but he's probably the second worst owner in the league after James Dolan.
But George Karl reportedly in his book describes Vivek Ranadive as quote, an overreaching immigrant who believes instincts are infallible.
Hey, I never said he was a good person.
George Karl is a bad person. He is an asshole. He is a bad person. Saying that stuff about Kenyon Martin and not having a father figure.
This book is going to sell.
What right do you have? You have no right to say that kind of stuff. Man, that's just come on, man. Just just shut up. Stop looking for attention.
Yeah.
Okay, you're out of the spotlight. Except fade into the spotlight. Fade peacefully into the spotlight.
Probably could have had a Hall of Fame spot if he shut his mouth.
Yeah. Now?
Right.
He's
Now
not
it's looking iffy.
He's not making it.
All right. Now we're gonna wrap up here on Blow the Whistle with some rapid fire, middle of the season NBA awards. We're gonna do MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. Those are the only 4 we're gonna. Oh, and Rookie of the Year, but obviously we're both gonna say Joel Embiid for that, so I'll summarize that one right here. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna go through those 5 really quickly. Julian, first of all, who's your MVP?
Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook for me too. Runner up though?
I don't know. You first.
James Harden. It's not even a question for me.
I'm going with Nick Young.
Oh, come on. Come on. All right, Defensive Player of the Year.
Swaggy P's been amazing this year. He's back. Swaggy's back. That was my favorite play this year so far. When
that was great.
The pass was for Lou Williams.
Yeah,
and he just reached in fadeaway 3.
That was funny.
My guy.
All right, Defensive Player of the Year. Marcus Gasol.
This is hard for me. I'm actually gonna, something that you wouldn't say, but I'm gonna say it. Marcus Smart / Avery Bradley.
I love it. That's. Can you do co-defensive player of the year?
I don't know.
Screw it. Give it to 3 players. I'll even throw in Jay Crowder in there too. I love that. Who's your runner-up?
Whichever one isn't the defensive player of the year. That's an easy question.
My runner-up is. This is hard for me because I hate this team, but Draymond Green has been good this year on defense. He really has.
When he's not kicking Steven Adams in the balls.
Hey, overall, he's been pretty good.
It's that man. Draymond Green needs to stop with the low blows.
I feel bad for Kawhi. If you look at his defensive numbers, they're so much better with him off the floor. But that's also because he has to share the floor with Tony Parker and Pau Gasol.
Tony Parker's still just running around.
And I was reading a great article. I can't remember who it was by or what source it was on. But it was basically saying that Kawhi is so good on defense now that he's hurting the Spurs because the person he's guarding literally gets taken out of the play. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not even involved in the play. They just stand in the corner. So it's tough for him to get defensive numbers because the other team is literally playing 4-on-4 and just not including him.
That's exactly why
his opponent isn't shooting. And because of that, his numbers just don't look very good.
That's why I think that the Spurs have a chance to not only win the West, but maybe even an NBA championship somewhere this year. Because if you look at it, Kawhi is the guy to guard Durant and James. He's the guy.
Yep.
And if they can somehow if they can also be very physical to Curry, I don't trust Tony Parker to do that in any way, shape, or
That's why I worry.
Maybe Patty Mills could do something.
I don't know. Danny Green, but then you got Parker on Thompson. That's almost worse.
I'm really worried about that. If they could somehow shut down Curry, because they can take Durant out of the game.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the Warriors are still better than without Durant.
And, well, if you look at it, I mean, even though Curry is such a massive variable if you can't guard him, I mean, you do have to look at the fact that there's no way in hell Draymond Green is going to be able to stop Aldridge down low.
That's true.
I mean, Aldridge is just going to school him.
All right.
He's going to take him to school. He's going to take him to kindergarten.
All right, this is rapid fire. So next up, 6th man of the year.
Nick Young.
Nick Young? He's starting.
He is?
He's our starting shooting guard.
Which is Williams or Young is starting?
Nah, Williams is my pick for 6th man of the year.
I'm mixed up which is one is starting because it's off and on sometimes.
Nick Young is starting.
Right, Williams is definitely the 6th man. All right.
Followed by the inevitable Jamal Crawford.
Yep. Jamal is still...
Who I don't even want to be 6th man of the year. I actually think the 6th man of the year should be Marcus Smart.
No, it's not true. It's blasphemous. One of the things
You can't have this for DPOY and then not have him for 6th man of the year?
I say this to anybody. If I want, against any player in the world, in a pickup game one-on-one...
It's Nick Young.
No, the guy I want on my team is Jamal Crawford.
That's true. I want LeBron.
I still want Jamal Crawford. I'll take Jamal Crawford against LeBron one-on-one.
Oh, come on.
It would just end up in a tie.
All right.
It would just end in a tie. That's what's
next. Coach of the year. You first.
Whew.
Coach of the year is tough. There's a lot of deserving candidates this year.
In a weird way, I kind of want to... I'm thinking about Tyronn Lue on this one.
Tyronn Lue.
I really like what Tyronn Lue has been able to do.
My pick is also an East coach. I got to go with Dwayne Casey. The fact that Dwayne Casey is the best offense right now in league history, and his starting power forward, is Pascal
Siakam.
Pascal Siakam, whatever his last name is. That's worthy right there.
Yeah.
Runner up. Greg Popovich.
One guy who I'd say, yeah, it's hard. I think Lue, I'd give him the edge over Popovich a little bit this year, just because the Cavs have had, a lot of games where not only has LeBron been out resting, or JR's been injured, or something's been happening, and just take one moment to appreciate the reemergence of Kevin Love as Kevin Love.
He's been good this year.
He's Kevin Love again.
He's gonna make the All-Star game.
He's not Channing Frye anymore. No disrespect to Channing Frye, but he's Kevin Love.
Yeah. Kevin Love is like a top 3 power forward in the league, and he's not been playing like it.
That's the thing in the finals. He's at the point again where
he can be a valuable contributor.
He could win a game for you. You look at what he did in the first quarter there with shooting 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Like, he can get crazy hot. I don't understand in that game. I forget who they were playing, but it was the Pacers, I think, right?
I don't remember.
I'm not sure who it was exactly, but they kept doing the pick and pop to Love, and he was open every single time. They could not defend that.
Yep.
I don't trust Curry and Green to be able to defend that.
No, especially because Green is going to have to switch onto like LeBron or Kyrie, depending on who's running the pick and roll. All right, up next, very last one here. Rookie of the Year. Joel Embiid.
Yep.
Okay, well, that was easy.
Yep. I'm going to make one last bold prediction, because we're talking about the Warriors and Cavs a lot. If it's Warriors and Cavs in the finals, then it will not be.
You don't think it will be?
Hypothetically.
Okay.
Hypothetically, Cavs win in 5.
Cavs winning 5? I got Cavs winning 6. I'm not picking against LeBron ever. All right, that wraps up our comeback episode of Blow the Whistle.
We're back, baby. Expect more heat in the meantime.
No, we got plenty of stuff coming up. We got some NFL coming up. We got some NBA power rankings. Mm-hmm. We are just getting started.
It's crazy. Season 2 is crazy. You know what it is.
Yep. All right.
You know what it is.
For Blow the Whistle, I'm William Robbins.
I'm Julien Mckee.
Thanks for listening.